She told me I was paranoid, that I needed therapy, that I was insecure for asking questions, so I stopped asking. And while she convinced herself I was unraveling, I partnered with the only person he wouldn't lie to, his wife. She started wearing lipstick again. Not for me. She said it made her feel put together, said she needed it for work, said presentation was everything in her role. I didn't argue, but I noticed, because the color she wore was the one she said she grew out of years ago, said it made her look too available. It was back now. Every Tuesday and Thursday. The same nights she stayed late for project deadlines. She used to show me her project decks, her team's messages, used to ask my opinion. Now she left her phone face down, used a passcode again, said it was for work compliance. I didn't question it out loud, just logged it mentally. She called me paranoid the first time I asked if something was going on, laughed like it was a joke, then shifted into concern, said maybe I should talk to someone, said I was creating stories in my head. I said nothing after that. Not to her. But I did a soft search on her company's site, looked through the leadership team, found recent promotions. His name was Mark, associate director, worked on her floor, mentioned once in passing over dinner months ago. Mark thinks my presentation style is refreshing. That was all she said then. But now her emails had that name in the CC line. A lot. Too many for someone she barely interacts with. I didn't accuse, I just paid attention. I cross-checked his LinkedIn, found a spouse listed in one of the photos, no tags, no profile mention, but the same woman appeared in multiple uploads. Found her name through a company charity page, a fundraiser. She was listed as Mark's partner. I noted the address listed on the donor page. That weekend, I drove past the house. Quiet neighborhood, well-kept lawn, same SUV from the photos, no sign of her. But it gave me enough to search property records. Her name matched the deed. I drafted a note. Didn't send it yet. Waited, because if I was going to break the silence, it had to be surgical. The next week, she started humming while getting ready. Same mornings, same color lipstick, same Thursday silence over dinner. I didn't ask anything. I let her feel undisturbed. Meanwhile, I tested one small move. I sent a brief, polite message to the woman I believed was his wife. Hi, I hope this isn't inappropriate. I believe our spouses work closely together. If I'm mistaken, disregard. But I've noticed some overlapping absences and wanted to check on a few timelines. No accusations, just comparison. I left my first name in a Gmail created for this contact only. 2 days passed. No response. Then, on a Monday night, a message arrived. I've had the same feeling for a while. Let's compare timelines, privately. We didn't talk on the phone. Everything was in writing. Clean. Professional. She sent me 3 screenshots, calendar syncs. One showed a spa booking with her name on it. Same day my wife said she was in a client meeting. The location? 47 miles away. I sent her a restaurant receipt. My wife used my card by mistake. It was for 2, not far from their office. Not part of any team dinner I'd heard of. We agreed on a few more checks. Nothing emotional, just pattern matching. She said she wasn't surprised, just angry it took this long to see clearly. I told her clarity doesn't always come fast. Only finally she offered to send more. I told her not yet. Better to let them keep thinking we're blind. That's when people get careless. The closer I got to the truth, the further she drifted from pretending. She used to leave work clothes neatly folded. Now they stayed piled in the laundry bin for days. Her time management, once precise, grew sloppy. One night, she left her email open, just one screen, a confirmation for a wine tasting event. 2 names, hers and M, not marked as business. No location tied to her company, no explanation offered. I took a photo, sent it to the Gmail. No words needed. A reply came. He told me he had a company offsite that night. We stopped replying for 2 days. Let them keep stacking lies. She grew more performative, made coffee for me in the morning, bought snacks she hadn't purchased in years. Guilt disguised as effort. I accepted it all with a thank you. I started taking longer walks in the evening, not because I needed space, because I needed a neutral place to think. I drafted my timeline, built it cleanly. Every inconsistency matched with a cross-reference. The other wife sent a screenshot of her shared GPS history. Her partner had forgotten to unlink it. 4 nights aligned with my records. She asked if I wanted to confront them together. I told her not yet. Better to let exposure come from inside their own bubble. I made my next move quietly. I contacted HR at her company, posing as a prospective employee, asking about interpersonal boundaries in leadership. They replied with a digital handbook. Inside, a clause about fraternization and promotion influence. She had recently been praised by upper management, by M specifically. I flagged it, took note of the wording, not for revenge, for leverage. If they wanted to be public, I wanted to let them do it in a place that punished disclosure. She scheduled a dinner for us on a Saturday night, said we needed to reconnect, chose a place that required reservations, somewhere quiet, elegant. I went, wore the shirt she used to compliment. She noticed, said I looked good. I said, you too. She smiled like things were healing. The waitress brought wine. She offered a toast. To us trying again. I raised my glass and drank. Let her think the lie worked. The next day, she left early to meet Jen. Mark's wife sent me a photo. Her husband, seated across from mine, outdoor cafe, same sunglasses from his profile. They weren't hiding. They were somewhere they thought no one would be watching. We didn't respond immediately, just stored it. Let it cook. That evening, my wife came home humming again. Said Jen asked about a beach trip. Said maybe we should all plan something with friends. I said that sounded nice. That night, I contacted a local legal office that specialized in marital arbitration, told them I wasn't filing yet. I was verifying patterns. They offered advice. Document behavior. Keep financial records clean. Don't tip your hand. I said I already had all three. By the end of that week, I had a full report ready. Not for court, for submission. Because I wasn't just planning a separation. I was going to make sure her job, his marriage, and their credibility collapsed under their own arrogance. Quietly, without ever raising my voice. Mark's wife sent me a document, a shared folder of screenshots she'd compiled, photos of their text messages, voice memo transcripts, auto-forwarded emails. She labeled everything by date. I responded with my log, matching entries, financial inconsistencies, fabricated work events. She asked, do you want them gone or do you want them known? I replied, both, in that order. We coordinated timing. A planned company networking event was scheduled in 2 weeks. Both of them were listed as leads. Joint appearance, presentation included. She agreed it was the right moment. 1 week before the event, I mailed a packet anonymously to the company's internal ethics division. Included documentation of their relationship, expense overlaps, and policy violation references. No accusations, just facts, attached neatly. Let their own organization weigh it. 2 days later, an internal inquiry email went out. She didn't say anything about it, but I saw her become tense, less humming, more silence. She checked her phone often. Pacing resumed. Mark's wife told me he started coming home late, but not to her. She stopped asking, said she wanted him to believe she was numb. That was her edge. We agreed not to appear connected. At the office, their presentation slot changed. The invite showed tentative next to both names. She told me she had a migraine. I said, take your time. That weekend, I removed all financial ties from our accounts, unlinked, retitled, moved balances. I printed a folder labeled Disclosures for her. I placed it in the drawer where she kept her scarves. No confrontation, just visibility. And when she finally found it, she'd realize it was never paranoia, only preparation. She found the folder on a Thursday, didn't say a word. She came home from work and went straight to the drawer, pulled it out, flipped it open, skimmed, closed it. I watched from the kitchen. She poured herself a drink, sat down on the edge of the couch, and just stared, not at me, at everything. I went about my evening, paid 2 bills, took out the trash, cleaned the sink, let her sit in the quiet. That night, she didn't sleep in our room, said she had a headache. I said, again? She didn't reply. The next morning, her eyes were swollen. She made no coffee, left before 7, said nothing. Mark's wife texted. They called him into a meeting this morning, HR and compliance. By noon, she added, she's next. I didn't ask for details, only said, let me know when it's done. At 3:47 p.m., a screenshot came through. Joint presentation canceled, roles under review. She came home at 6:10, poured another drink, didn't speak. Then, did you do this? I looked at her, calm. Do what? She stared, waited, hoped I'd confess something loud so she could scream. I didn't. She finally said, you need help. I smiled slightly. You said that before. She stormed upstairs. No suitcase, no exit, just panic in a cage she built herself. She started making calls in her car. Didn't trust the house anymore. I saw her sit in the driveway for 20, 30 minutes, just staring at the dash, voice low, pacing through explanations that couldn't be proven. Mark's wife sent one more message. He's been removed from 2 internal projects. Rumors spreading. He's not denying anything. That's when I knew it was over for them. At home, she tried routine again. Cooked one night, cleaned the bathroom, changed the sheets, resetting symbols. But she never asked me to talk. She knew the door was gone. I updated my employer on a planned leave, scheduled time off, claimed it was for family relocation. No questions asked. I closed the safe deposit box I had set up months ago. Removed the final items, passports, titles, evidence. There was nothing left to prepare. Only execution. She came to me one evening holding the folder I'd given her, asked, "What are you going to do with this?" I said, "Nothing more." Her face twisted, confused. "You're just done?" "I was done the day you made me doubt my sanity." She looked like she wanted to cry, but not out of guilt, out of lost control. I walked past her, picked up the last key, dropped it in her hand. "This house is yours now. The silence stays with it." Then I left. No drama, no shouting, just conclusion. I didn't leave a forwarding address. Just a cancellation of shared utilities, a silent resignation from our shared gym, and the final transaction clearing our last joint bill. My name disappeared from every corner she used to reach me through. Mark's wife said he tried to patch things up, that he blamed manipulation, said my wife came onto him, said he never meant for it to go far. She didn't reply. She'd already changed her locks. I respected that. My own path led me into a smaller rental, clean walls, no echo of shared years, no kitchen magnet calendars filled with lies. Just space. People assume revenge needs to be loud, explosive, ruinous. But this was something else, a removal. She lost access without ever hearing the door close. I saw her name once in an HR blog about ethics cases. No mention of wrongdoing. But her title had changed, demotion by reassignment. I printed it, folded it, slipped it into the back of a file I no longer needed. Let it sit, because sometimes the final act isn't revenge. It's remembering they tried to convince you that reality was wrong, and now they live in what they pretended wasn't true. Weeks passed, then a month, no contact, no new emails, not even junk mail with her name on it. I didn't block her, I just became unreachable. That's how you remove power, not by confrontation, but by deletion. I still walked familiar streets, same stores, same gas station, but she was gone from them. I could feel it, as if her presence had been vacuumed out. Mark's wife moved cities, got a new job, quiet location, quiet life. She messaged once more, "You were right to stay silent. He did all the damage himself." I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. I saw a post from one of my wife's old friends. Birthday photo. She wasn't tagged. She wasn't there. Her social life shrank faster than her excuses ever had. That's what happens when the lies catch up before you stop running them. I shredded the last folder, burned the receipts, closed the secure email account, deleted the backup cloud, kept nothing, because memory doesn't need reminders when the truth lived out in real time. This wasn't punishment, it was observation, and the result was never revenge, just proof that removal, not reaction, wins longer. I received one final envelope, forwarded from the old address, no return name. Inside, a handwritten note. "I never believed you'd actually leave. I thought I had more time. I was wrong." No apology, no plea, just the sound of someone admitting they mistook silence for surrender. I didn't keep the letter, dropped it in a bin near a bus stop, walked away before the lid closed. I no longer needed to win, because the life she tried to manipulate me out of had become the one I built without her. No lies, no rewrites, no adjustments made to survive beneath someone else's expectations, just clarity. And that's the kind of ending that doesn't need an audience. She told me I was paranoid. I let her believe that until there was nothing left for her to explain. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and let's hear what you think. Until next time, take care.